Alright, I think I fixed everything finally, and we are good to go. Today is Wednesday, April 17th. I am Options Trader New Jersey. We're going to go over what we saw today. Today was a ridiculous day. And then we're kind of going to see what we're looking at and what I'm kind of expecting for tomorrow. And the tail end of the week, we had a lot of targets hit today on some big plays. We missed the Apple trade only because I was thinking that it was going to be a swing, but we'll get into that in a minute. And we're going to go over what we look at every day and see where the money is, frankly. But to start, as always, got to go over SPY, broad market in general. Yesterday we saw a nice green day, but I attributed that to the POMO that occurred, and as a result, I thought that market makers, hedge funds, and the big boys on Wall Street were pushing, the broad market up higher just to get more money out of the POMO. You know, it was a lower volume day, as you can see, compared to the red candle we had the day before, but kind of fell in line with what we were seeing a couple days prior, before the run to a new high at 159.71. For those of you who follow me on Twitter, we had a target of 155.5 today, and we got much more than we had asked for with that. We actually had a low, which passed our target at 154.28. That was just sick, and then obviously bounced off that, and closed obviously, but those 155.5 calls that we were talking about last night went off for like 250%, something like that. I'm not really going to do the math right now, but they were nice. They were very nice, and they paid out well, like everything else today. As far as tomorrow is concerned, I'm not going to lie, I don't really anticipate much selling tomorrow. I kind of had a pre-existing number in my head. For those of you who follow Sanglucci and are in that chat room, I thought if we closed at 154.60 today, tomorrow would be selling. I know we have those job numbers coming out tomorrow, which is a bit of a concern for any longs, but I personally, my belief is that the market as a whole will chop out to end the week, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to get some awesome plays. As far as downside from this, where is this at right now? Alright, so it lost some after hours, but I think a good place to kind of expect a reversal might be 154 flat. I don't think it's going to break this little channel it's in here. I think that's looking good. Starting to get into a little bit of oversold territory, which is kind of why I think it's going to chop out. I don't expect much more of a push to get it lower. It's had two really big candle days full of selling, but that's really it. I don't expect there to be a big move for it. I think if you're going to sell calls or puts, tread carefully, but that's that. Now we'll get into Netflix, as always. Netflix was an absolute monster today. Netflix did exactly what we wanted it to. Again, we had a target of 170 per the tweets. I think if broad market, well, first let's get into what these calls, or puts rather, did. The 170s went off freaking huge. I'm not even going to try and do that math off the top of my head because I'm just not good like that. But they went off great. It was a great day. Netflix was a little shithead earlier in the day, though. Right off open, excuse me. Where's open? Open's like right around here. Right off open, it broke out and looked like it was going to try and get back into the channel that I've been talking about all week. And then it flipped a switch and just was an awesome short play. Right around here, I actually caught the puts at 105. And then right around here, true to form, like everything else I do, I got pretty fed up waiting for a move and sold out of those puts like an idiot, and then basically watched Netflix just continue to tank all day, establish new lows, and pay out awesomely. Right around here, I probably would have gotten nervous had I held, but at that point, the puts were already over 200%, and they were pretty sick right there. Now, for the sake of argument, I'll do 3-month one day. As far as tomorrow is concerned, I mean, Netflix right now, unfortunately, I mean, I'm a huge Netflix player. I love playing Netflix, but Netflix is a big, big short. For anybody who really follows waves, I mean, it doesn't get much clearer than this. If I was going to short Netflix again tomorrow, obviously this is all dependent on the broader market and what's going on there, but if I was going to short it, I would probably have a target of... I'd start with this lower Keltner line here, which is, we'll say 165, so that's a 4.5 point move, depending where we open tomorrow. That's a nice downside target. It's got a little trend line from the lows over here. If you just draw it across, it's got a nice trend line. That would probably be my bottom target. I believe that was at 163 or 162, something like that. It was right around here, something. But if that breaks, this is probably going to fall off the face of the fucking earth and going to be absolutely massive money on the put side. But Netflix is one of those stocks that can just trick the shit out of you in reverse. Right now, what I'm seeing is I'm seeing selling. I'm seeing a lot of selling, and I'm seeing no need to think otherwise right now. So for the sake of argument, like I said, my first target would be 165, and then we'll examine it and go from there. As far as upside potential, I mean, you got a lot of selling, but I would say if it can get into 175, that would probably be a good play. I mean, a good time to go long. But it's got earnings coming up in like 2 days, so it's kind of play at your own risk right now. Alright, Amazon. Amazon's another one. I really like the formation of everything going on here. Don't exactly remember what I said about Amazon last night because I did the webcast and then the audio wasn't working, nobody could hear me, and then I got angry and didn't come back to it to do my predictions and everything like I usually do. Had a ton of selling early. Amazon did. I mean, everything did today, but Amazon especially. Amazon was down, I want to say, close to 8 points. Yeah, just about 8 points this morning. Literally just fell off the face of the earth and then kind of rallied back with the SPY a little bit. That was probably a really nice play. Oh, yeah, wow. The 65s, the 265s went off pretty sick. Actually, everything went off sick on the put side. But that was just the kind of day it was today. As far as what I'm expecting tomorrow or what I will look for, again, this is all really dependent on what the broader market is going to do. Techs in general have been following pretty damn closely to the broader market and have been pretty douchey lately, actually. I want to still short this. I got to be honest. I don't know what the broader market's going to do, but it's got this nice little wave structure formation here. So I want to short this, and I want to have a target of 262. For the sake of argument, we'll say 262.40. Just because I can. Again, this is another one. Lots of selling lately. No real accumulation here. I mean, if I would probably feel a little bit better if this was around 10, 12, maybe 15, but no real accumulation. It's another one. It's got earnings in 2 days, so there's not really a lot of time. You're going to be dealing with a lot of jacked up premiums, especially on Thursday when those new contracts come out, and the fuckery will just continue. LinkedIn had a real interesting day here today. I remember at one point LinkedIn was up pretty nicely, but again, this is another one. I don't really remember what we thought about LinkedIn because I'm dumb. But yeah, LinkedIn fell off the face of the earth after establishing new highs for the day, rather. But it was a lot like Netflix, actually, except it bounced back at the end of the day. Both sides, if you had held long overnight, you got paid out pretty decently. But the put side, obviously, it put in, what's that, a 5-6 point move on the downside, and then just kind of sat there for a little bit, and then broke out again and closed nicely. As far as tomorrow, this is another one I kind of like the short side of the ball here. But how far is the question? LinkedIn's in a very eerily similar channel to Netflix right now, and I'm just now noticing that, which is kind of scary for me because usually I'm pretty on top of that, and that's a bit of a problem for me right now. I guess, I mean, I really want to see what the market's going to do in the morning, obviously, but my first target would probably be 174, just gauging with my eyes and what support and resistance kind of looks like. 174 if the market falls off again. LNKD 174. But if not, if we get a rally, I mean, you're up against the new highs for the year at 186.06. So how much higher can it really go? Will it test it? Sure. I kind of think it's got to test 184 before it gets there. But we'll see. I mean, there's a shitload of short bias right now, and the futures contracts and everything doesn't really give me any reason to think that we're going to be going long. I think the worst thing that we can do right now is chop out, because I think you have a lot of people that are on a clear defined side of the market, and everyone's kind of going to get hammered in the end. But yeah, Nike was green somehow today. This Apple is going to haunt me for a while. This morning, if any of you saw my tweets, I was actually looking to go long Apple via the 430s at around like 940, I think, but then it broke the current lows of the year at 419. Right about, where was it? It was right off open, I guess. Yeah, it was right around here. I was looking to go long. I thought it was going to be a nice swing, bounce off that low there and keep going. The point where it broke it and just started falling off the face of the earth was kind of when I decided to stop watching it. I wasn't going to chase it. I know for a fact those Apple contracts went off freaking, I mean, just look at this. You got the 410s, and those are even the freaking far out strikes. But everything went off huge today on the put side of the ball. The 415s, holy shit, there was lots of money to be made today on this Apple, but I missed it. Not going to chase it. It's just one of the rules I have. I really only have 4 or 5 rules. And when that fails, I just kind of wait and see what happens. History repeats itself. So this was where that 419 low was put in. So if you want to go based on history, then tomorrow should be a green day. How green? I don't know. It's got earnings in 2 days, like everything else, obviously. But I'll say that it will head into earnings at 4:15, just for the sake of argument. I'm not even going to watch it because I'm going to get roped in and want to play it. But yeah, that was a crazy play and huge money. It's an obvious short right now, but it should chop out to finish the week, going into earnings, as you can see on the RSI type indicator here. Accumulation, I mean, it's sold off today, so there's not much that can be going on there. And I'm getting sell signals still, but I don't know. It should start reversing. It should start trekking back up. Earnings should be huge for it. I would not be shocked at all if earnings was a beat and a beat in a big way. Everybody's kind of discrediting Apple lately, and I don't know. We'll see. All right, now Google. Google, I want to short bad. Everybody's all gun-ho Google. Apple's a bust. Everybody's long Google. Everybody's waiting for Google to report earnings and go to 1,000. I don't think it happens. I think Google kind of shot its nut already. I think Google's done. And I personally think that Google is now experiencing the quote-unquote Apple kiss of death. Establish a massive high and then just literally get shot to shit. And everybody gets burnt except Wall Street because they're the ones doing it. I like this short a lot, actually. If I had to pick a place to land, this seems pretty good as any. 770. This again, obviously, dependent on the broader market, but we'll see where that lands. Upside would be this midline here, right around 793, 794. But we'll see. Holy shit, Fossil. I remember this one. This one was looking good last night. Wow, that's it? That's kind of disappointing. I guess nobody really played Fossil today. Anyway, Fossil's another one that's going to get shot to shit. I want to see this. I actually want to see it chop out tomorrow and bounce. Truth be told. I don't know how much more selling it's got in it after today. Everything was pulled down by the market. Time to reverse, yada yada yada. Same old, same old. Priceline. I think Priceline was down like 20 points today. And this is the same thing that happened to... Was it Netflix? Or no, it might have been the SPY. I think it was the SPY. Yeah, to the T, actually. And that's kind of weird. I've never seen Priceline act like that before, but that's kind of cool, I guess. I guess if the market shot to shit tomorrow, sub 700 is a nice place to land. But I think there might be so much short side bias right now that the SPY just pulls a freaking rabbit out of its ass and the dip buyers come back and so on and so forth and everybody gets burnt. Basically. What else do I want to look at today? Goldman fucking Sachs. Alright. This one, I took a picture of it on Twitter only because I was pretty pissed off about it, but I felt good that I had the call. I actually, this morning, took a look at this chart and felt confident that it had to move to 139. This was another one that gave us more than we had asked for. 138.05 was the low, and that's actually the new low for the last 3 months, I guess. It's in a nasty little downtrend here. Just quick view of the chart here. This too, I mean, this will follow the SPY pretty closely. I mean, I had the one red day in between. I know for a fact these fucking puts went off just in the most unreal fashion here. The 140s went from 34 to 264. That's crazy. That's awesome. But we'll see what happens tomorrow. If I had to take a guess, I mean, I think the market's going to probably chop out, which means this will chop out too. I say it bounces to 143 tomorrow, but we'll see what the market wants to do. If this is going to sell off, next stop would be, God, there's no real support until, I mean, I guess 137, but even lower than that, 130. So I don't really think there's much going on there for right now. Starbucks held up nicely. Sam got crapped on. Okay. Sam got crapped on pretty heavily, but this is another one. It's in a nice little channel here. Or not channel, it's in a nice general uptrend. Today was a nice reversal, though. I kind of like to see that. My next move would probably be right around here, 156. Sam doesn't really have a lot of volatility. It's kind of one of those buy and hold type plays. You don't really get much option movement except for right here where they had they reported stuff like that, or the day before they reported. Everyone got burnt the next day, but I would like to see 154. We'll say 0.3 just to be nice. Get hit, even if the market chops out. I think that's pretty obtainable. CMG, Chipotle. I actually had Chipotle for lunch. Not that it matters, but it's just been absolute whore lately, which has me thinking that a breakout's coming or a breakdown. I have a lot of upside bias on this one, only because I've looked at the chart on a longer term and it's in a gorgeous uptrend. But we'll see what happens. There wasn't really much money to be made there. We'll skip soda only because nothing really happened there. The banks, Citigroup got hammered today at one point, but bounced back like everything else. That should just chop out with the market. Banking sector as a whole seems to be in a weird little downtrend right now, which is kind of ironic. But we'll see. I mean, I have this short bias because everything got bought up on the POMO. So I want to see 44.20 before anything. Will that happen tomorrow? We'll see. Kind of depends on what the broader market's going to do. For a long time today, these freaking banks and credit cards got just wrecked all day. And I sat there and laughed because it was terrible. Ooh. Bank of America is about to fall off a freaking map. Wow. Wow. They put in a huge move today. What did those go off for? Still nothing. I don't quite get it. I really don't. This is another one I have a lot of short bias on, just based on what the market's doing lately. Um, it should just chop. We should just get a nice little inside candle. I don't think it'll break these lows. I think it's got a little bounce coming. But I'm not even going to make an estimate because I don't really play it. It's not volatile enough for me. Or rather, my preferences. And if I'm not going to get what I want out of it, I'm not even going to look at it. Oh, this Visa. This Visa was freaking awesome today. This one, I made some sort of a prediction on this one last night. And this morning, I think, but I couldn't find it. These puts, these went off big today, which was awesome to see. As far as tomorrow, I really think Visa needs to start bouncing. I think that it'll bottom out right around, I'll say 160. Should just sit there for a day or two, probably close the week there, and get bullish as it goes into earnings. But real quick, let me call you right back. Sorry. Budweiser, another one that just got hammered today. What did this do? Again, absolutely freaking nothing. I'm really not quite sure what the hell the deal is here, and as a result, I'm not even gonna concern myself with it. But what we saw today was kind of my big concern for not even just the day, but the market in general. And I tweeted that this morning that I was worried that the broader market was just going to tear everything down today and just hammer everything. And there were some serious plays going on. And there was big money to be made. And it seemed like if you bought a put on anything within the first half hour of the day, you're going to make some sort of money and walk away a winner, which is what we like to see. But I think from here on out, it's going to get a hell of a lot more complicated and a lot trickier. As always, I am going to take a double look and look at my charts again tonight at some point or maybe tomorrow morning. And I'll throw out my tweets. If you don't follow me on Twitter, Options Trader NJ. And have a nice night.